Microsoft plans to restart the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant that narrowly avoided disaster. More on that in moments, but first, Google's A-series Pixel phones are an excellent option for those looking for an upgrade on an older device without breaking the bank. It's a particularly good time to snap up the Google Pixel 8a as it's on sale just ahead of Prime Day. The Android phone has dropped to $399, which is $100 off, and a new record low price. The Pixel 8a is actually our pick for the best mid-range smartphone you can buy right now. We gave it a score of 90 in our review in May. It has some excellent hardware for a phone in this price range, including terrific cameras, a 6.1-inch OLED screen with a 120Hz refresh rate, and great battery life. It lasted for 20 and a half hours on our video rundown test. Find the latest gadget news, reviews, price drops, and more right now at Engadget.com. And there's never been a better time to get a smart speaker, especially if you're a music fan. When voice assistants first started infiltrating these devices, hands-free controls were really the star of the show. Even now, one of the most common ways that people interact with Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant is through a smart home speaker. But now you have dozens of options to choose from, and most of them sound much better than the first smart home products did. Sonos recently entered the game with its own voice assistant on its stellar-sounding speakers, and even lower-end models like the Echo Dot and Nest Mini have better audio quality than their first iterations did. If you're struggling to pick the best smart speaker for your needs, we at Engadget can help. We've outlined our top picks, plus all the things you should consider before buying a smart speaker today. Head over to Engadget.com for our list of the best smart speakers in 2024. Microsoft's in the midst of a deal that would bring the infamous 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant back to life, according to reporting by the Washington Post. If the name sounds familiar, it's because the Pennsylvania plant was home to a partial meltdown of one of its reactors back in 1979. The deal would make Microsoft the plant's sole customer for 20 years, meaning it'll hoover up 100% of the power all for itself. Why does the company need so much juice? You can guess. It's for AI, which is notoriously power-hungry. Look, if it takes an entire nuclear power plant so we can ask Bing to whip up an image of Steve Urkel in space riding a skateboard, then we gotta do it. It's the future, or whatever. Let's break it down further. If this deal is approved by regulators, 3 Mile Island will provide Microsoft with enough energy to power 800,000 homes. Again, no homes will be getting that energy, but don't worry. Microsoft will be able to hold a live streaming event to show off some ghoulish new AI video generation tools or something. I know I'm coming off as a real troglodyte here, but there is a silver lining. This could help Microsoft meet its pledge to power AI development with zero-emissions electricity. It's not as if these companies would give up on AI if there wasn't a decommissioned nuclear power plant sitting around. So this move could help alleviate some of the strain that's already being placed on our power grid due to ye-olde artificial intelligence. If approved, this would be a first-of-its-kind deal for a couple of reasons. A commercial power plant has never worked exclusively for one client before. It'll also be the very first time a decommissioned power plant has come back online. It's worth noting that the plant shut down 5 years ago for economic reasons, which has nothing to do with the partial meltdown from 1979. The current plan is for it to resume operations by 2028. The energy industry cannot be the reason China or Russia beats us in AI, said Joseph Dominguez, chief executive of Constellation, the company that owns the plant. I'd take his jingoistic language with a grain of salt, however, as Constellation stands to make an absolute boatload of cash from this deal. Let's do some math. Yearly profits from a nuclear power plant averages $470 million. Microsoft will be the exclusive buyer of this energy for 20 years, which totals $9.4 billion. Constellation is spending $1.6 billion to get the plant going again, along with federal subsidies and tax breaks provided by the Inflation Recovery Act. This leaves $7.8 billion in sweet profit. That's just a guesstimate, but you get the gist. The company does promise $1 million in philanthropic giving to the region over the next 5 years. That's $200,000 a year. This isn't a done deal. There are many regulatory hurdles that Constellation will have to jump over. This includes intensive safety inspections from the Federal Nuclear Regulatory Commission, which has never authorized a plant reopening. There's also likely to be an inquiry into those aforementioned tax breaks, as all of the energy is going to one private company and not serving entire communities. But come on, Steve Urkel on a skateboard? In space? On the plus side, Constellation will need around 600 employees to run the plant, according to the New York Times. Jobs are good. Also, the company says it won't be seeking any additional subsidies from Pennsylvania. The Palisades nuclear plant in Michigan is also looking to reopen for business, but it plans on servicing the local grid and not the gaping maw of AI. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Today's show featured journalism by Engadget contributor Lawrence Bunk and was produced by Spoken Layer. I'm Imran Sheikh, and as always, we'll talk more tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.